guys see and hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. We can hear
Okay.
you, see you.
We'll stand in the back.
You got our album artwork happening in your background, so we like that. That's cool.
Hi.
Hello.
We're going one at a time. Yeah, I can see you. You back there. You're lurking.
Yeah.
You're lurking there.
You can see all of us.
Yes, I can.
Like you're doing elementary school photo shoot. So
Good day to you.
okay.
Hope you guys are having a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must be Alex.
I am Alex, yes.
Nice. Of Love Sugar.
Yeah, Love Sugar Show is my Instagram, and then I upload videos on YouTube as well.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and start out. How's your day going so far? I know you said that you guys are in the rehearsal studio finishing up some stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, regular rehearsal.
Yeah, we're here in Boston or Medford or Malden.
Malden is the answer, yes.
Some studios. Some studios.
Some studios. It's a fantastic place. We practice here. We rent a room by the hour, and we usually practice once a week. And Thursdays is the day we meet up here at Some. And so it's every Thursday is the best Thursday, you know. So when it's practice day.
Did you guys get any of the snow that's been hitting everyone too?
Oh,
Yeah. It's all frozen too, so it's not even snow anymore, it's just ice. But
It's the ice that gets you.
Yeah.
Snow you can conquer, but ice the invisible enemy.
The rain and the freezing temperatures does not work so well.
I hear you. I'm over it myself. So
Where are you from?
I'm in Minnesota, so it's
Yeah. We're nothing compared to what you get.
true. So I kind of want to go into what you guys would identify as genre-wise, because I know depending on where I look, I see like space rock, desert rock. What would you guys consider yourself?
That's a good question. The reason why it's a good question is because the three of us have, I would say, very not different musical tastes, but like different home bases that we live and come from. So, it's sort of this crazy experience. Like we all have different strengths and come from different like backgrounds. So we can't even decide ourselves a lot of times what we are. It's kind of a different answer for all of us. So like for me, my home base is Nirvana, 90s, Soundgarden. That's like sort of where I'm most at home. But for Pat, it's more who is like your favorite bands kind of.
I mean, I like a lot of like heavy rock and metal and stuff like that. But I think like a lot of what Sundrifter is I don't know, like it seems to be like not really like a story or our own kind of vibe, but like a lot of the songs are influenced by like Black Sabbath, but then you can also hear Queens of the Stone Age or the Doors or like, you know, it's like vast, expansive atmospheres and vibes, you know, like it's tough. Like some people can hear desert rock and some people can hear space metal or doom or just classic rock or Pink Floyd type stuff, but it all kind of fits under one Sundrifter umbrella.
So the answer is it's everything.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It depends on what song you listen to, really.
Well, we'll get a lot at shows, at least for me, is people will say, oh, you're kind of like Queens of the Stone Age, but with the Chris Cornell vocal. Or like they'll kind of pull two or three things into one. So
yeah, we can play with like heavy metal bands or we can play with like indie rock bands. It's pretty cool. And we can kind of adjust set lists too to like accommodate for the heavier bands or the lighter rock bands.
That's pretty cool. So you guys fit in everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with this album, this is your third album. How do you guys feel about it coming out?
The best we've ever felt in the whole world, at least for me.
Yeah.
We are very excited about this album. And you know, having worked and followed bands for a while, like once your original record, you leave the shore and you're drifting out to ocean, then you get to the next record and now you're this, and you get to the next record and now, it is a definite progression of the art. And yeah, we feel the best about this one coming up for sure.
Yeah, and just it being like so long, such a long time coming. Like we coming off of Visitations, our last one, we started writing all these songs, and then we went into track drums on March 7th and 8th of 2020, and then the world shut down, and we didn't want to put it out or force anything out through that pandemic time. So we just kind of put it on the back burner. A lot of things in our lives changed over the past 4 years, getting everything together and putting it out at the right time, and getting all of our ducks in the row, and then finally, releasing music takes so long because when you're working with labels and pressing plants, and you got all these schedules, and it's like 6 months out, so it's finally here, and we've been sitting on it for so long, so it feels amazing. Paul, yeah.
It's been like 100 miles of speed bumps, so we're finally at the end of that, and
a lot of speed bumps.
it'll be nice to ride on a smooth road after this comes out. It's I like working on things and then getting them done, and despite this being half done, it's been not fully done for a very long time. And once it's out there, we have all the space in the world to work with the next stuff.
Yep.
Right.
So that's it's the big thing for me, at least.
Yeah, I know with labels and things, they also give you deadlines like we need this by this time. So whether you're ready or not, you have to find something.
Right. And just like, like you get it done, but then like, oh, you're kind of like sitting in a queue of bands ready to be released, and then you're working with other people that, they have schedules, and it's such a great moment to finally, put it out to the world.
And you gotta wait for the next train to come by.
But we're trying to, like, now that we're back and we're beginning again, we're hoping to keep this train, rolling faster for the next one,
What challenges did you face since you kind of had to start back up again?
Breaking in the live show too was pretty tricky. I think when we actually came into a room together after like probably a solid year, when we came back, we started tracking guitars slowly, then vocals and bass, and then actually like, okay, now we gotta put these back together again. We gotta dust them off and play them. So over the past couple of years, we've been like breaking them in live and making sure like all the little details are covered, and making them like tuned up again, so.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
those are challenging, and personal challenges too. Like just like dealing with our lives and our work. I like our Craig, you got a son, and we got all kinds of other adult stuff going on. And then all our hobby of playing music, and trying to make that into something it's tough to fit it in sometimes.
Right. Especially when you're an adult, you have all these responsibilities on top of everything.
Money, and and then like trying to tour now is now even more difficult because expenses and overhead and all that stuff. So, and then getting artwork and all that stuff together, it's tough, but it was a long road, but it's good to finally be here.
That's exciting for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any shows upcoming?
Yeah.
February 1st.
Yeah, we got we're just working on a rehearsal for our February 1st show at a brewery down on the South Shore of Massachusetts called Widowmaker. I don't know if they make some fine beers. So they put on a lot of cool heavy rock shows, and our buds in Swamphead got a release show coming up themselves, and that's what it's gonna be. So we're gonna be playing with them in Bone Church and Earth Lore. So it should be a pretty fun time. We're gonna go in and blow it up and have a great time.
This
And we
sounds
got
really
another 8 or 9 in the next 2 months. So
Yeah, we got more coming off the release, and that should be really fun too. That will be later announced, I guess.
So to be determined. We'll find out at a later time.
Yeah. an earlier time to a later time.
So how did you guys all get together? How did the band kind of form?
Oh boy, college, right?
Yeah, we're all UMass Lowell alumni.
Okay.
We all went for music. I was sound recording technology, and we kind of met through mutual friends, really, on recording projects. Me and Craig. Then I knew Paul through a mutual friend, Brett, and Dan, the guy who records us. So me and Craig, we started off, and we were playing in some iterations of bands before, and our sound kind of got heavier. And right around that "Not Coming Back" time, we wrote those songs, and it kind of got heavier from what we were doing. It's kind of bluesy, so that record kind of is a little all over the place. But by the time we got that finished, we were like, we need a bass player, and we ended up getting Paul on board, and it's been like that ever since. And we put out visitations, and now we're here.
That sounds exciting. You meet a lot of people in college and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a music program for sure, especially.
Yeah,
Feel
there's a
like
lot of
quite a few
musicians
people
there.
interested. How many years were in between Not Coming Back and Visitation? I forget what year. Not Coming Back was actually
Not Coming Back
14?
was 2016.
16.
And then once we finished that and put it out, we're like, we need a bass player to play these parts, because we had Dan Schwartz, our engineer, track the bass parts on that record. And we're like, we need somebody to play them live. So, and then I reached out to Paul, and he was like, yeah, we'll play bass. And then it's been us three ever since.
That's really cool. I like that story. So what are each of your guys' favorite song on this album?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'll go first. It changes by the day.
The track list isn't out yet, so this might not mean
It is.
Oh, it is the list. Oh, it's on the Bandcamp. Yeah. It just doesn't have to be uploaded.
Oh boy, it's like the weather report. Like we'll go through weeks of like, that's it, man, that's gonna do it. And then other days I think if you're gonna ask me today, I'm most excited about our song "Want You Home." That one I'm super proud of the vocals on there, and that's again that whole UMass Lowell connection. So Pat, you go for your degree, you're in the music program, and then you each have an instrument. So mine was voice, Pat's drums, and Paul plays everything. So he's sort of an international man of mystery. But yeah, really excited about "Want You Home," and our engineer Dan is incredible. He's also a wizard. So layering those tracks was really exciting. So I'm sort of, again, it's a very, you were talking about the challenges. So like for me, it's like we've painted this really exciting painting that we're really excited about, and then we've had it in our phone as a rough mix for like 2 years, and we're showing our friends like, oh, what do you think about And so it's just that feeling on steroids for the last 100 years, and now here we are, February 16th coming up. So it's just so much excitement. So I'm going "Want You Home." What do you think?
I think Limitless, first track, should be coming around the corner here pretty soon. And it starts with drums. Maybe that's why I kind of like it. It was the first song that really set the tone. It was like when we came up with that, we were like, yeah, this record, we're gonna focus it kind of more around this, and then the rest kind of came and followed suit.
I'm gonna go with Space Exploration.
Nice.
I think it's the strangest song I think we've done.
Yeah, but different.
Different. Yeah, there's a lot to it that we haven't done in any other songs. There's not a time signature change, but like a metric shift between like a 3 feel and a 4 feel. There's some halftime parts. It ebbs and flows dynamically. Gets real high, gets real low. It's fast and slow at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and it has a bass solo.
Take one.
Okay.
I think that one too, drum wise. I do something like I guess you could say like the first thing that I'm playing on there is kind of a strange groove that I'm doing. It's kind of something that I'm like, ooh, I wonder how they're gonna respond to that. We'll see how it goes though.
Okay, well, when the album comes out, now I'm gonna listen to those songs and we'll see. Space Exploration, actually, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a really cool song. I can't wait to listen to that one.
It's a good one.
So, where did the name for the album come from?
Ooh.
One of the lyrics in the song.
We're not gonna say which song. You're gonna have to listen for that, but I think you'll find it pretty quick.
Okay. So how about the album art cover? I mean, it kind of looks spacey, so I'm assuming there's a little bit of a space thing going on in the album.
Yeah, absolutely. Cover art by Bronca Studio, Paul Lebron, over there in Spain. He does killer artwork for a lot of cool bands. A lot of he did our Visitations album cover, and just something about his aesthetic. Uh, I always thought was pretty cool, and I approached him and was like, this kind of has like a space feel, but also like a lost civilization or a lost advanced civilization. It's something that I'm really into, and I think we are into as a band of like, kind of like there was, an earlier time and there was like, maybe history wasn't exactly how it was written, it could have been something far more advanced. And that's kind of like the, the black pillar surrounded, an advanced civilization mixed with like, ancient people building stone. So a lot of those themes kind of come together with the space background and the comet and we're into a lot of Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson.
Lost technologies.
Kind of ancient alien nerds.
So are any of you guys into like space, astrology, anything like that?
I'm into astrology, absolutely. Light
Yeah.
workers and ascension and light, some light work off of Visitations, but yeah, I do believe in that as above, so below. Like a lot of like planetary movements and shifts kind of can affect us right down to a cellular level, DNA level. I think it's some fun stuff to ponder and think about.
For sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt to get some extra information on life too, because life is hard.
Absolutely.
So who is each of your musical influence that kind of got you interested in music?
There are pillars. So I have certain Craig pillars. So I come from more of like a pop, structure background. So Michael Jackson, like 1997 Super Bowl, I'm right there. Like I'm right there every day. He was huge. And then Nirvana with Kurt Cobain, that whole scene sort of changed my life. So those are two monumental pieces for me.
Yeah, I think the '90s played a big part in all of us as elder millennials are being. Dave Grohl, John Bonham. I think a lot of that classic rock. My uncle was a major influence in why I wanted to play music. He was a musician, the family musician, and I was like, oh, he's awesome. I want to be just like him and play the drums. And he kind of taught me the basic rock beat, and he told me to play the AC/DC and like that kind of a thing. But I think nowadays, I think I'm really influenced by just like heavy hitters and heavy music and hardcore. I grew up listening to punk and hardcore music and a lot of that stuff, playing hard, playing fast, playing with like emotion. I think a lot of that influenced me as a drummer.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm all over the place, I guess, but none of it's really '90s music. I listen to everything, and I think I've listened to everything for a long time. But I guess the early ones that kind of align together, which make no sense at all, are kind of the Beatles, Daft Punk, and like Iron Maiden.
Run to the hills.
None of those three bands belongs with any of the other, really. So I don't know. It's been pretty eclectic for a long time. I like a lot of pop music, and I like a lot of heavier music, and I like jazz. I like uh, strange contemporary kind of alternative rock. It's everything's out there. Yeah, and I'm kind of just picky about what I fit into each genre too. So like, I wouldn't say I like all metal. I probably like 10% of metal that's out there, but I really like the 10% that I like. So it's
Hmm.
kind of hard to say. It's everything, but only a little bit of everything.
Well, it's good to have like a mix of things too, because then you have like more options and you're not just stuck listening to one genre forever.
Yeah, I think it's wise to.
It breeds a constant battlefield in the songwriting process. We each have very strong individual voices, and that's a huge part of Sundrifter. Is that bands have different songwriting styles or approaches. You think of like Sting and the Police. Sting's got a song, and now the Police are playing. It's gonna be great. Ours is just sort of like three guys with very different backgrounds coming into one space. Here we go. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try that. I've always found that product wise is always going to be the best for us. When each single part is really invested and they're excited about what they're playing, that end result is always going to be way more interesting and exciting.
Oh, for sure. It definitely gives you more options too, instead of being stuck in one little bowl. You got the whole world now.
Right.
So, what was the most fun part about creating this album for you guys?
The most what part of creating?
Keep it out for a second.
The most fun part.
Fun.
Ooh, so for me, recording vocals is easily the most fun part. And there's a lot of different, theories and methods on that as well. You'll find some people on the internet will say, "Oh, practice so you have everything ready to go, and you save recording time and this or that." I'm the exact opposite. I have a general plan for melody. I get in the studio, I start hearing effects, I start getting ideas, I just start creatively shooting takes at people, and then you let the engineers and you let those folks kind of mold it, and everyone has input. And again, that kind of collaborative process is super exciting. I have sort of my ideas and like what the direction for where I think I can take things, but recording vocals is a lot of fun. What about you?
I guess to follow it up, I think recording the drums specifically because of the room that we track the drums in now twice. This place called Futura Recording Studios. It's this old Masonic temple that's like a size of a church. It's this massive room that we track the drums in, and it's just really fun to play in a big room. You just feel like when the levee breaks, that kind of a vibe. So everything is just like very reverberant, and it sounds really big, and that's kind of like what we always go for, is a really big sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a great answer, but I don't think I have a favorite part, most fun part, or whatever. I'm pretty goal and results driven in most pretty much anything I do, any endeavor. So getting it done felt good. That's probably the
Yeah, that
thing. And especially since there were so many stutters and stalls over the course of the process, it was exciting to get into the studio, start stuff, and play it, but then we didn't touch it for a year and some change. So your brain changes its perspective on a lot of creative material over a long period of time like that. You want to change things. You don't want to have to go back and redo them and spend too much time working on anything. And that's exactly why it just felt the best to like get it done. But I think once it's all out there, it will feel
even better,
more fun. It's a hindsight thing.
So, last question here. Do you guys have any comments or message that you'd like to give to your fans?
Thank you for your patience.
Absolutely.
It's the one.
We've had a few people that are just like have kept, when is it coming? When is it coming over the years on social media? And I'm just like, oh my God, it's coming soon.
I think
it's just like never ending, but
I think what we would say is any positive comment, that we receive is so huge for me, so huge for us. Being in a band, it's a grind. Like I said, there's a lot of challenges with touring. There's a lot of obstacles, and even just saying, hey, oh my God, I like to begin again. Like even just something simple, it really fires us up and keeps us going. So
yeah, it's nice to like read those editorial reviews, but I almost think it's even cooler when you get just the comment from you know, the diehard fan, like, you know, in the middle of nowhere, saying like how much they appreciate it. So that's very rewarding.
For sure. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this interview with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All
All right, you
right. Have a
too.
good one.
See you
Thank
later,
you.
Alex.
Bye bye.
Bye.